Hi, it's Till from Fresh Clinics, and I am so excited to be here today with Taryn Williams, who is joining us for a VIP lunch with Cryomed to talk about the magic of personal branding. Hi.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's so good to be here. I'm so impressed. I cannot stop being wowed by this event.
Thank you so much. So, for those of the nurses who don't know you, give us a little bit of an introduction. I know you're a powerhouse and a founder of multiple brands, so I would love to hear all about you and how you started.
I know my intro is getting really long. So, my first business was a company called Wink Models, which I still own, which now has about 450 models Australia wide, offices in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. And then I built a tech company, which is a little bit of a crazy step from someone who did not come from a tech background, which was a business called The Right Fit, which was a two-sided marketplace for creative talent. And then my next business is a company called Hash Gifted, which is all about contra collaboration, which is only like 3.5 months old. But we've already got some amazing brands using it: Estee Lauder, Clinique, Accor Hotels, and about 5,500 influencers on the platform. So that's my latest baby. And then I'm stopping.
What an introduction! Okay, I'm really excited to hear about this. So, you're obviously a powerhouse when it comes to branding. You've built 3 brands from the ground up. What do you think that the best piece of advice is for clinic owners, nurses, or somebody who maybe just has no idea where they even want to start?
Yeah, and I totally understand it is a confusing and convoluted space. For me, I think the biggest realization was that I'm going to have a personal brand whether or not I choose to control it. And so my publicist for a long time had been like, you need to build your personal brand, you need to build a personal brand. I was like, no, I don't want to be an influencer. Like, I just want to be a businesswoman and grow my brands, and, that's fine. She was like, look, people buy people, they don't buy brands. They want to know the person behind the brand. They want to trust you, they want to get to know you, they want to get to know your values. And if you don't promote that and you don't decide what those are going to be, and so if you don't control that through the content that you make, through social media, through the events that you get involved in, then you're really missing out on a huge opportunity.
That is so true. And I think it's particularly so important now as we move into this new space in social media for our nurses with these guidelines. It's more important than ever to find your unique selling point. So
Absolutely.
let's say I'm a nurse and before all I was doing was posting my before and afters, and now that it's not translating anymore. What could I do? What's my first step towards building a personal brand that's going to help really elevate my clinic?
So I think firstly define what your values are. Like, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be all about holistic beauty, or do you want to be about cutting edge, scientifically proven, maybe really high end products and services? Like, decide what your sort of values and niche is going to be, and then go really, really deep on that and create content across platforms that really talks to those sort of key points. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is a little bit of brutal hand to hand combat to start. You need to lock yourself. I used to go to the office every Saturday and I would lock myself in the office and force myself not to leave until I'd created one long form piece of content for LinkedIn. I'd create a piece of content for TikTok, and I'd create a piece of content for Instagram. And it was laborious, it was time consuming, but after a while it starts to become more natural. You really start to get your groove, and things will come up during your week where you'll go, this is perfect for a content piece. It might be a question from a customer, it might be something that you see in the news, it might be new regulation, and you think, I'm going to own this piece of content. I'm going to write something really meaningful and engaging in my niche.
That is invaluable advice. I hope everybody was taking notes and listened to that. It is hard, and getting in front of the camera is a massive part of that. You've obviously amassed quite a cult following yourself. So,
It's the hair. It's the
yes,
hair,
no,
it's just the hair.
it's definitely just the whole vibe. So, if I'm a nurse and I've just taken your advice and I'm sitting down, I'm having a look at my values, I think the biggest roadblock to nurses really jumping on board with this is feeling a little bit shy in front of the camera, or not really knowing how to actually sit down and do it. They know they've got to do it. They're going to lock themselves away in the office. What's your number one tip for feeling confident in yourself and feeling confident in front of the camera?
Practice, practice, practice. I remember how nervous I used to get at the start, especially speaking on stage for the first, time with 500 people or whatever. I remember being so nervous. Remember that you are the expert in your space. If you've decided to go really, really deep on natural therapies or whatever it might be, melanin production being your jam, like whatever it is, you're going to be the expert on that. You have read so much, you've learned so much over the years. So don't doubt yourself. What resonates with people is really raw, authentic content. They don't mind if you miss up a few words, or, if it's not as seamless as you think it should be. They actually just want to get to know you. They want to get to really understand and hear your content. So just get out of your own way and give it a try, and just try it across different platforms and see what works for you.
Because it obviously does work 100%, and that's what I think that everyone should really be focusing on moving forward. One last question before we go. I know you've got to go to your lunch. Let's think about some of the top performers in this space. So the people that are on socials, the people that have built their personal brand, the nurses that have been really nailing it, jumping in and doing it, and it's working for them. What are the top performers in this space doing differently?
I think consistency. It's not one of those things that you can just set and forget. You do need to engage with your community regularly. That you've got to remember it's social. So it's not just about set and forget, share something, walk away. You actually need to engage with your audience. You want to be following people back. You want to be answering questions that come through in your DMs. You want to be reading the questions that people are asking. You want to be sharing, especially on Instagram, sharing stories saying, what else can I help you with? What other content can I provide? So creating that meaningful content. And I always say the biggest thing with any of these platforms is adding value. You can't just share content for content's sake. You can't just push it out. It's not an advertising message. It really needs to be adding value in someone's life in some way. So even if you just jot down a few ideas and then put your consumer hat on and go, if I was reading these or watching these videos, would I go, God, that was really interesting. I really learned something from that. And keep working and shaping your content until you do that.
That was amazing. So valuable. I'm so
Thank you.
grateful. So anything else that you wanted to say before we wrap up?
No, I think just get in, give it a try. Don't feel like you have to be an expert to start. You know, it's just really, really important to take control of your own brand.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
oh my
for
gosh,
having
thank
me.
you. You did amazing.